The following program is intended for the adult collectors only, not for kids. Hey, this is Nerd's Toys, me being the nerd, and these being the toys. Now, today I want to talk about oversized Transformers. Now, those of you who are not familiar with the term might be thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Oversized Transformers? Of course they're oversized. They're Transformers. They're giant robots, big-ass trucks, big-ass airplanes. But that's not exactly what I'm talking about. In the toy lingo, a figure being oversized means that it's a bigger version of the exact same mold of an existing pre-release toy. These oversized figures, or as they are sometimes referred, upscale figures, are usually manufactured by third-party companies and are basically knockoff versions of the official toy line products. Now, why do these oversized figures exist? I guess there are a number of possible good reasons for it, but the way I figure is that the fans are just not happy with the officially released toys. For example, they would have liked to see someone released in the deluxe class to be promoted or upgraded into the second bigger class, that being the Voyager class. Another reason I can come up with is the money. It's easy money for the Chinese companies who make these knockoff toys, just because they already get their hands on pre-existing molds and they just upscale them and put out the toys and collect the money. They don't have to design anything new. They don't have to market them. Those toys they sell themselves. They don't even have to call them Transformers, and in fact they can't. To avoid all kinds of legal issues, they just call them whatever they can. I've seen toys that are called deformation robots or something like that. It's always different, but they never can call them Transformers. No, that's a big no. Probably the most well-known example that I can come up with right now is the Headmaster figures from the Titans Return toy line. The original 4 Headmaster Autobots figures were oversized by a well-known company called Wei Jiang. If I'm not pronouncing that right, I'm sorry. These figures are real good. I do not have the original Hasbro toy line figures that, by the way, were deluxe class, but these oversized figures made them more of a Voyager class size. These are real good. I was very impressed by the quality of these toys. These have very good feeling into them. They even have some die-cast parts, which is great, and it gives the certain amount of firmity to these figures. They got Chromedome, of course, and they got Hardhead, Brainstorm, and Highbrow. I'm sorry, I just have to think a moment before I say the name because there are so many robots running through my mind right now, so the names just don't come that naturally. I'm old, I'm an old guy, I don't work that fast anymore. And the same shit goes to the Decepticon versions of the Headmasters. In the Titans Return line, they released Skullcruncher, which was called apparently Skull Smasher. I'm not sure. Then they released Weirdwolf, and of course Mindwipe, which is my favorite of this bunch of 3 Headmasters. Now I got these oversized as well, and I do not have the original deluxe class figures of these guys either. These are also made by Wei Jiang, and my god, again, die-cast parts, which gives them strength and firmity, and the quality of the plastic overall is really good. I would say of all the Titans Return figures that I have in my collection, none of those come even close to the quality of these knockoff toys. Can you imagine that? I mean, I paid like $8 or $9 per a figure for these knockoff toys, and I gotta say, that's a real good deal. I am really pleased with these figures. They did excellent job with these. I recommend getting your hands on these if you just can. They are pretty well available on eBay, for example. I really recommend these figures. Of course, there is a huge variety in the quality of these toys. Sometimes when you open the box, they just flat out break in your hands when you first try to transform them, but sometimes the quality is even better than the original Hasbro or Takara products. I mean, that's quite amazing. Of course, we know the big companies like Hasbro and Takara always try to cut costs because, you know, it's business. And sometimes the quality of the original official toys is questionable too. So sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes the quality is not so good with these knockoff toys, and I came to realize that with this oversized Devastator knockoff by NBK. This is actually a knockoff of a pre-existing third-party figure by Generation Toy. He's called Gravity Builder. Now, this this is really bad quality toy. When you take a quick look at them side by side, you cannot really notice any differences. But you know, when you get your hands on this, you will pretty soon notice the difference. I mean, he's really flimsy. The plastic is pretty bad quality, and overall, he can barely stand up. I'm not gonna even show you any transformations, or I'm not gonna take this apart. You know, of course, this is 6 different individual robots. The Constructicons who form the Devastator, they all come together, but I'm not gonna, because it's really hard to put. It's really easy to put together, but it is really hard to, you know, stand up. I mean, it's just, it has to be leaning against the wall because the joints and the ratchets are really bad. I mean, they get loose very quickly as you move them around. It was pretty firm at first when I got it out of the box, but pretty quickly it was shit. It looks good though, so it's going to stay in my collection for the time being. Sometimes it's really hard to tell who the real manufacturer is when it comes to the knockoff toys. On eBay, for example, the same toy can be marketed under many different brands, and you can never tell which one's the real one, but it really doesn't matter in the long run because the companies who make those toys are still gonna get their money when you click that buy button. Now this is a real mystery. I don't know if this is Wei Jiang. I forget because I threw away the box, but as I ordered this, I ordered a toy by Wei Jiang, but I'm not sure if I got one because as I remember, the box said it was completely different company, but I think this is the exact same mold that was used by Wei Jiang. I mean, of course there are different companies that use the same molds, and this is definitely not as good quality as the Headmasters by Wei Jiang, but it's not nearly as bad as the Devastator. No. This is really firm figure. I mean, he stands up really firmly, and the ratchets work fine. I mean, you can pretty much pose him any way you want, and he will stay that way very firmly. Of course, when you attach these smaller robots together, sometimes the attachment comes loose, but it's not as bad as the NBK Devastator because he can stand up, he can stay the way you pose him. he's really cool, and he's a little taller than the NBK Devastator. Now, this was an oversized version of the Hasbro Combiner Wars version of Predaking, and I gotta say, I'm really pleased with this. Not as pleased as the Wei Jiang Headmaster toys, but pretty pleased. And overall, these individual robots, they feel a little light. I mean, they are oversized. They're pretty big. I mean, they are somewhere between the leader class and the Voyager class if you're comparing them to the official size classes. But yeah, I mean, the figures feel fine, and you do have to put on these stickers that come with the toy, and that's pretty cool. I like putting on stickers. I mean, it's a pain in the ass to put them, but you know, they kind of bring this G1-ish feel to your toy, because every G1 toy had stickers. And the latest oversized KO figures that I've gotten my hands on are the Terrorcons by a company named AOYI. I don't know if that's supposed to be pronounced as AOYI. It's Chinese or something. I don't know. Or if they are just individual letters. I don't know. What the hell am I talking about? Anyway, Terrorcons were released as deluxe figures in the Power of the Primes Generations toy line. And of course, they were a combiner. They combine into Abominus. So there are 5 different robots in this combination mode. They have only released 3 of these. They have Rippersnapper, Blot, and Cutthroat. Sinner Twin and their leader Hunger are yet to be released. I'm expecting them to release them by the next 6 months or so. But anyway, these figures are, again, they are fantastic. I mean, the quality is just top notch. These also have some die-cast parts in their legs mostly, so they stand up pretty good. And the monster modes are cool. Of course, these are exact same molds than the Hasbro versions, but these are a little bigger. These are like Voyager class, which is, I must say, this is the only way I would picture Terrorcons to be released, because, you know, those monster modes as Voyager class size figures are still kind of, short. I mean, they are just short. When you turn them into the monster mode, they are, you know, the height of a small deluxe figure. And, you know, I do not have these original Hasbro deluxe versions either, but I can imagine when you transform a deluxe sized robot into the monster mode, it is really short. I mean, it's like legend class size, which is stupid. Monsters should be big and scary, right? But these are really great. I'm really pleased with these figures. I cannot wait for the rest of them. Okay, so that was some of the oversized knockoff toys from my collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Bye!